Alright guys, today we have another canning video. This is so easy, anybody can do it. I'm going to show you how to can pineapples so that you can use them all year long. Stay tuned because I'm also going to give you some nutritional benefits and some medicinal uses for this and why you want to have this on your shelf through the winter flu and cold season. Hey guys, today we're going to can some pineapple. This is a great beginner's canning project because it is so easy to do. You need no special equipment. You're going to water bath this. It's easy on the stove, minimal ingredients. Really the only thing you need is pineapple and water, but I'll give you some alterations. But this is a necessity for anyone who is canning, not only because it's so easy and it's so delicious and it's a lot less expensive to can it yourself than to buy the ones that are already canned throughout the year, which are usually just loaded with sugars and are not that great for you. But I like to keep pineapple canned on the shelf, especially through the winter months, because they are a powerhouse for fighting colds, flus, viruses, infections of any form or fashion. Pineapples are loaded with antioxidants and vitamins. They are high in vitamin C, which of course we know is important for immune system health and will help you to get over any kind of sickness quicker and keep you from catching it in the first place and protect your organs because it does work as an antioxidant against damage from more serious infections. But they also contain an enzyme or a group of enzymes known as bromelain. Bromelain is something that your body normally produces to help break down proteins, but the older you are, the less you produce, and some sicknesses can inhibit. People have found that they took bromelain supplements after dealing with long COVID because it was proven that the bromelain was breaking down and deactivating the spike proteins. But I think also because a lot of people dealt with a lot of intestinal and digestive issues after that particular sickness, that this was probably helping them to digest their food and causing them to be able to absorb more nutrients, which they were having issues with. So this is great to help you break down proteins, eat it with meat. It is great for you and it is very good for colds. It's also extremely anti-inflammatory. So anyone who deals with autoimmune diseases or any kind of inflammatory conditions, congestive heart failure, diabetes, anything like that, you're going to benefit from eating a lot of pineapple. In fact, studies have shown that kids who eat a regular diet of pineapple were shown to have far less bacterial and viral infections than kids who didn't. Now, one of the greatest things that I like to have pineapple for through the winter is because it is one of the most powerful cough expectorants you can use. And I'll show you in a different video how to make a very easy, quick, powerful cough expectorant that is stronger than anything you can buy at the store and is safe for even the smallest children, using pineapple and a few other simple kitchen ingredients. In fact, I used that through COVID pneumonia and it worked amazing. So the thing though is that you really want this in your pantry through the winter months, because if you have a cough or you're getting some chest congestion, you don't really want a suppressant, and there are cases for suppressants, but more than that, you really want an expectorant to just get it out and get it over with. And that's what pineapple will do. It is amazing. So we need to get this in our pantry before the winter cold season. The first thing we're going to want to do to can pineapple is wash them. Spray them down in the sink, get them washed, because we're going to use everything. The next thing I like to do is I like to cut in a pan or in a bowl so that any juices that run out, I catch it, because we're going to use all the juices. In fact, if I were doing this at home, I would be cutting this directly into this bowl, but it would be hard for you to see, so I'm going to do it on the cutting board in a pan. We're just going to take the top off. You can peel this by hand, or if you have one of these handy dandy little things, makes it easy, especially when you're doing a whole lot like I am. Just screws right down in. These are very ripe. When you feel it getting to the bottom, just pull it right out. Save your juices. And save this. The peelings and the core, we're going to use all of it. Right now I'm just going to put them in a pot on the side, and then I'm going to dice my little chunks and then move all of this to my bowl and do the next 4 that I have. You can buy this when it's in season and save a lot of money because you can get them on sale pretty cheap. All right, we got our 4 pineapples chopped up. I had more, but I had company over the weekend and the kids raided me. So we're gonna just work with this because I didn't have time to go back to the store. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna use the cores and the peelings to make juice. So I have a juicer. If you have a juicer, you can just pop it in the juicer. However, most people don't have a juicer, so it's this simple. If you want to get your juice from your pieces, just cut it up into small pieces so that it doesn't take up so much room in your pot. Put it in a pot and just put enough water to simmer it. Bring it to a boil for 10 minutes. Because even if you juice it in your juicer, you're still going to have to bring that juice to a boil for 10 minutes. That's part of the process. So we're going to have to boil it regardless. So if you do it this way, you can extract juices from your cores and your peeling. And if you're using that little thing, it's quick, it's handy, especially if you're doing a lot. But it does tend to, especially if you have a larger pineapple, leave a good bit of flesh. So you want to utilize that for the juices. That's why we washed our pineapple real good before we started. So, but while that's boiling and our juice is making, we're going to go ahead and stuff our jars with our pineapples. There's 2 ways to do this. You can actually put the juice in the pineapples and boil those for 10 minutes, or you can put the boiling juice in the jars with the pineapples and boil them for 15 minutes, and that's what we're going to do. You might see all these weird little jars right here. That's because I'm shooting a separate video right now at the same time as this one on how to can and reuse store-bought jars, things that are left over from stuff you had from the store, what you need to know in order to successfully can and reuse jars. Huge money saver and a necessity in a lot of places where the jars are just inaccessible or way too expensive. So if you want to check that out, make sure you watch that video. So we'll be doing some in regular canning pint jars and some in a variety of jars because we're testing this out to see how well this works. So right now, what we're going to do is just get our pineapples into our jars. Now, concerning the pot, you need to let it boil for at least 10 minutes, but you can let it boil longer if you want to pull more flavors out of those chunks and pieces that you put in there. And you can actually also let it cook down if you want to concentrate the juices as well. Now, the great thing about canning pineapple is that it's a naturally acidic fruit, so you really don't have to put anything in it, just the pineapple and the pineapple juice, and you can can it like that and it is totally safe. If you want it a little sweeter, you can make your own syrup on the stove or in the jar. I find it's easier in the jar. If you put about 1 tablespoon of sugar per pint, it's going to give you a light syrup. If you put 2 tablespoons, it's going to give you a medium syrup. However, me personally, because I am saving this for medicinal uses as well as nutrition, I want to make sure that I maintain the nutrition. Now, sugar is very inflammatory. Pineapple is anti-inflammatory, so I don't want to add sugar and cancel the beneficial effects. Also, sugar neutralizes the effect of vitamin C. So it's really taking away most of the health benefits when you add sugar to this. So if you want to sweeten it, what I do is I use honey. We have our own honeybees, so honey is easily accessible for me, but if you can't access, if you don't have access to it, you can use another sweetener of your choice. But honey is also antimicrobial, antibacterial. It has a lot of health benefits. So when you're taking this in the winter to help get over colds or coughs or sore throats or whatever, the honey is going to aid that and benefit it. So I do put about a tablespoon of honey in each pint jar. And these little bitty jars are going to be perfect for whenever I'm using it to make a cough syrup. And I don't need a whole lot for a cooking dish. There's things going around the internet saying that if you use a metal spoon, you kill the antibacterial effect of honey. And I'm just making a little mess. That's okay, I'll clean it up. That's actually not true. Studies have shown that that's not true. Now, I think where that concept came from is that in the old days, they used silverware, which is silver spoons. And silver is antibacterial, and it will kill the effect of the good bacteria that's in your honey. So in the old days, they always used these little wooden dobs and not the silver spoons. However, nowadays, most spoons are not made of silver. So you can use a metal spoon without a problem. Once it's boiled enough to get soft, you can get in there with a potato smasher and kind of just press them. And that will help to get even more of the juices out. Also, skip the entire step of making your own juice if you want to just add store-bought pineapple juice, but that's totally... All right, our juice is ready now, and we're gonna go ahead and add it to the containers, the jars. Our jars are already at least a third, if not more, close to a half on some of them, full of juice already just from the pineapples themselves. So it's not gonna take a whole lot of juice, but if you end up with more juice than what you need, you can the juice and use that. Ooh, it would be good, add it to a cake mix. So we're gonna go ahead and just fill all of our jars. You wanna leave about a half an inch of headspace. You really don't need a whole lot of headspace. All right, and I ended up with an extra jar of pineapple juice, which actually was only half a jar. So I went ahead and added some lemon juice and made a pineapple lemonade concentrate so that I can just dump this in some more water later and make a drink. You could also brew a family-sized bag of tea and put some concentrate, or a couple of bags even, and put that concentrate in there and make a pineapple tea concentrate. We'll do some other videos on how to make drink concentrates, which are very handy when people show up unexpected and you already have, stuff made that you just have to dump in a pot of water, like a pitcher of water. So we are going to use vinegar to wipe our jars really good, just because I used that honey and because of the pineapple juice. The syrup can be sticky and we don't want anything messing up our seals, especially with me making a mess with that honey like I did. You want to go ahead and use the vinegar to cut through any sugar or honey or sweetener or sugar just from the pineapple syrup, the pineapple itself, the juice. So we want to make sure that's really clean. We want to put our lids on, and then we are going to water bath these. Now, this question comes up often when you're canning and you're using different size jars. Can you do them all in the same batch? And the answer is absolutely yes, but you're gonna have to go with the time required for the largest jar in your batch. So we're doing pints, so we're gonna do this. We're gonna water bath it for 15 minutes. I'm doing this in my pressure canner, but I'm using it as a water bath canner. You do not need any special pots to water bath. You can use any pot that is deep enough to submerge your jars. You do need a rack at the bottom to get them off the direct heat, but if you don't have a rack, you can just put a tea towel or anything at the bottom of your pot. And we're gonna go ahead, turn the heat on, and wait for it to come to a boil before we start our timer. All right, ignore these. This is just some beef jerky that I did and canned up, well, vacuum sealed up for Christmas gifts. Honestly, of all the homemade gifts I give, the jerky are the ones that are asked for the most. Little tip there for some very appreciated homemade gifts. But these are our pineapples. Look how cute they are. They did great. And this is, of course, our juice. Shake it up before you use it. Our pineapple lemonade concentrate. This would be great in tea as well. So there you have it. Very convenient. I like the little jars for if I'm going to use it to make an expectorant or a cough syrup. I like the bigger jars if I'm going to use it to make a pie filling or a cake filling. I mean, not pie, a cake filling or something like that. Or just to eat as a side dish. It is delish. Or in some homemade yogurt. That is perfect. So again, this is so simple and there are so many uses for it, and it's really a staple that you need on your shelf throughout the winter months for the extra vitamin C and for all of the health benefits that comes with having pineapple at your disposal. So get it while it's cheap. When it's in season, store it up, have it year round. It's too easy not to do it. So let's do the math really quick to see why canning works and why we should be doing it. So I bought the pineapples for $2 a piece at the store. I bought 6 pineapples today, which gave me 10 quart jars full. So that's $12 of pineapples. Each quart jar will hold actually a little more than 2 15-ounce cans. 2 15-ounce cans from the store cost right at $2. So we'll say that we have about $4 worth per jar if we had bought this at the store. So that means that if we had bought this at the store full of sugar and preservatives and no telling what else, it would have cost $40. We made it ourselves. There's nothing in it that we don't know and we don't want. It is pineapple juice, pineapples, and a little honey. Healthy and good for you, and it costs $12. That's why we can.